What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like, subscribe, all that good stuff if you're new, and always put the bell notification on all so that you'll be the first to know whenever new content drops on the channel. So let's get into this one. So, in this one, we're going to talk about a good conversation, a good kind of dialogue that took place yesterday on TalkSport, where a lot of these good dialogues take place. I mean, we've had Simon Jordan having a two-part debate pretty much with Eddie Hearn, and that done a million views plus, both of them. So they had their debate, and it was fiery, it was back and forth. And another one of those things happened, and this time it was between Eddie Hearn's new sort of best mate slash rival in Frank Warren and Simon Jordan. And this one, it was an interesting one because it started off very sort of peaceful, and Simon Jordan, you could tell he had a bee in his bonnet, he had something on his mind, but he started off sort of being quite nice to Frank Warren and saying, will Tyson Fury pursue the rematch? And Frank Warren confirmed that yes, he will pursue the rematch. We are looking at that, and that will take place in October. Simon Jordan complimented him on that and said, "Look, yeah, I compliment your boy for that because at the end of the day, he's showing now resilience. He's showing the same thing that Ali, Tyson, all these other great fighters have shown, where they'll lose a fight and they'll come back and they'll go and get the win. They'll go back and get their lick back, or whatever you want to call it." So he was quite complimentary of Fury, saying, "Yeah, listen, that's great. If he does that, I'm very happy. I'm over the moon that he does that because that's what the great fighters do. They don't just have undefeated records. They lose fights, learn, come back and win." And that's so he was quite impressed with that. Now, as it went on, Simon Jordan began to call out Tyson Fury for his thuggish behavior, his outlandish statements, and things of that nature. So he began to sort of call that sort of thing out. And Frank Warren, prior to Simon Jordan doing that, Frank Warren sort of brought up the criticism, and he was saying, people are now criticizing Tyson Fury. They're now digging a knife in since he lost. He went on to give the example of his brother that passed away, and he said that his brother suffered with a mental illness and mental condition. I don't know exactly what it was, but he said it's something that can cause you to do outlandish things. And he said that whatever people say about Tyson Fury, they should understand and they should bring up the fact that Tyson Fury is clinically diagnosed with bipolar disorder. So he said that people don't look at that. They just go after Tyson and they criticize Tyson and they say all this stuff. They come down hard on Tyson Fury, but Tyson Fury's got bipolar. You can look it up on the NHS and blah blah blah. And he was saying, look, you can look up on the NHS website and see that they have mood swings. They say outlandish things. Their behavior can change from happy to sad in the blinking of an eye. So it causes people to to act outrageously, to act very erratically. So he said that all these comments that you've made, Simon, and other people have made are unfair because Fury thugs, they do something called hitting people, and he was trying to make this point, saying that, oh, Tyson Fury's not a thug, he's not thuggish in his behavior, he's not a bully, he doesn't hit people, he doesn't go around beating people up. He's quite, he doesn't do that. He might say things that are a bit crazy. I've cringed at some of the things he says, but he doesn't go around hitting people. And Simon Jordan sort of questioned this, and even I myself, to be honest, could question this because he said he's never hit anyone, which, I mean, it seems in large part that's true. But then you look at him when he was in that foreign cut. I'm not sure where he was. I think he was somewhere in Europe, and he got drunk and he was trying to get into a taxi, and I think the taxi refused to take him, and he went crazy and he started kicking out at the taxi, trying to kick the car, and his boys and his security had told him back. So he say he doesn't hit anybody, but there's things like that where he's kicking out and getting drunk and going crazy on people. So yeah, I think that kind of refutes this idea that he's never hit anybody. He's and Simon Jordan, he this is one of those occasions where a lot of the times he's very sort of, he likes giving Fury praise and always giving the benefit of the doubt. Even when it came to his dad John, he was saying, "Oh, what do you want me to do? Be outraged at John? That's how they all behave. That's how it is in boxing." Blah blah blah. He was quite dismissive of the complaints about that. But in this encounter, he seems to have sort of changed his tune, because he rightly said that Fury could not take criticism, but he was always happy to accept the praise, which is a contradictory thing. And that's a good point that Simon Jordan pointed out, because it is true that with Tyson Fury, he's happy to ride with people and happy to hear what people have to say. Boxing people, you can think of the True Geordie example. He had no issues with him, but when True Geordie started asking him serious questions and being critical of his career and questioning his what he's accomplished, immediately Tyson Fury flips and starts getting angry, and it's like, "You'll never get another interview off of me." So it's like he all Fury wants to hear and his team want to hear and his dad and all the rest of them is praise. And Simon Jordan rightly points this out, that you guys, you seem to be very happy to receive praise, and we as a radio station or network, whatever you call it, in Talksport, have always praised you guys. We've always had a good relationship. We've always said complimentary things about you. But it's like the moment that we criticize you for taking the Ngannou fight with an MMA guy who's never boxed before, the moment we criticize you, all of a sudden it all changes. You're angry. He doesn't want to interview with us. And it's weird how you can accept the praise. You can accept it when we say good things about you. But when we criticize you, you and your boy, you can't take it. And he was right to say that. And he challenged Warren also on the idea of him saying outlandish things due to mental illness. And he questioned, well, what shall we say then? Shall we just say that we have to accept everything that Tyson Fury says when he says all of his inappropriate things, and lately even against Usyk, to be honest with you. I mean, he said, some little foreigner, why, the champion should be American or British. It shouldn't be some little foreigner who doesn't speak much English. That's just what it is. And, should we accept things like that? Simon Jordan would say. But to me personally, I think, yeah, that's a racist statement there. And he shouldn't be really allowed to get away with things like that. So, Jordan pressed him on this point that, look, so do we just accept everything he says, and do we just put it all down to mental illness? So the next inappropriate thing he says, or the next bit of thuggish behavior he does, do we just accept it and say, oh, he's got bipolar, so we're just going to accept it? We're just going to endure whatever he says, and we're just going to say, okay, let him say whatever he wants. He's got bipolar. Let him get away with it. And Jordan rightly called it out, because even Frank Warren had to admit that, yeah, okay, I'm not saying you have to accept everything he says, but you just have to understand that illness, and you guys don't know him, and blah, blah, blah. But Jordan rightly said, well, regardless of what he's got, that doesn't mean we just have to accept everything he says. He still has to be held accountable. And, Jim White, he tried to kind of rescue it, and he said, because Frank Warren said, well, Fury's not obligated to talk to anybody he doesn't want to talk to. And Simon Jordan said, yeah, that's right. He's not obligated to talk to us if he don't want to. But Jim White made a good point, and he objected to this, and he said that, they've always had a good relationship with Tyson Fury up until that criticism. And he said, White was saying that, look, there was no real reason for the overreaction. It was a simple critique. And he said that, he's open to repairing the relationship, but Frank Warren, of course, could make no promises. So, yeah, overall, this thing, it was quite a good dialogue between the two guys, or between the three of them, where Frank Warren, he said he's loyal to Fury. He's always going to sort of defend Tyson Fury. But Simon Jordan rightly said, well, at the end of the day, we're not just going to lie down. We're going to be objective. I'm objective. I'm going to continue to be objective. And Tyson Fury should be able to take the criticism as well as the praise. And, I agree with that, because at the end of the day, even despite the fact that they have been banned from Tyson Fury's fights and interviewing him and stuff like that, Talksport, they still cover Tyson Fury's stuff, and they still speak quite highly of him. They're not really that critical of him, and they kind of defend him in various instances, even post the ban of them being allowed, them being sort of disallowed to interview and be around him. They've still defended him. So clearly, they're, if anything, they're biased in Fury's favor. They were all picking Tyson Fury to win the fight. So I think, yeah, what I said makes a lot of sense. Why doesn't he come back on? Because these are guys that are fans of his, and they like him and everything. But Simon Jordan's just trying to be objective there and say, look, at the end of the day, you've got to be able to take the rough with the smooth, take the praise with the criticism. And, you know, I, for one, agree with that. And yeah, good interaction. It's on the Talksport channel. A good thing to watch if you haven't seen, because it's a nice one where, even if you don't normally agree with Simon Jordan, I think I, for one, I normally disagree with some of what he says. But on this one, I have to agree with him. I think he makes a lot of good points here. So yeah, it's a good one to see on their channel. And yeah, until next time, this is MKO Pugilism. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Until next time, I'm out.